cut because I was talking too much.
Good day, good folks. You are listening to Talk That Keeps You Woke. And with your awakening, we hope that you will take in the information and knowledge we provide. So make sure you like and subscribe while you hop on this ride as we inform, persuade, entertain, and engage in discussion. Welcome to Pot Liquor Podcast, which is knowledge to feed your soul. I make up one half of Pot Liquor. I go by Dr. A, the inquisitive one. A great debater, Mr. Slow Talker, a rhetorician, and an all-around nice guy, and a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The other half of Pollica is my homie, my dear friend for more than 30 years, Kim Walker Jackson Esquire, the legal one, Mrs. Creativity, never obnoxious, the gifted one, a terrific lady, and a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Long time we shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left you without a dope beat. Step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Baby girl.
Okay, so it's been about 3 weeks. We've been gone for a minute, but now we're back. Partner, how was your 3 weeks?
Hey. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I am well. My 3 weeks were amazing. It's the end of travel baseball season, so I'm finally free from the traveling back up and down the road and staying in hotels and eating nasty food. So I'm glad to be back. I made it through. How about you, Dr. A? How are you?
The 3 weeks have gone by. I've been busy. I can't even tell you what I've been up to. I did go to Chicago in these past 3 weeks for a convention. But other than that, I just been on a grind and dealing with that. But as always, we have a lot of information to get into because a lot has happened in these weeks that we've been gone. But always, we still are going to start with our wow for the week. That is a Mary McLeod Bethune. Without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. And this is a straightforward text. If you're a Christian, or even if you're not, you're spiritual, if you have faith, if you believe in something, and once you have the faith, I think that you can put into operation what you need to achieve it. But if you don't believe that you can do it, you're defeated from the start. So you definitely need faith that what you're trying to achieve is a possible feat, or with God that you can achieve this feat. You just have to have the faith. If you don't, it's a harder battle. What say you, partner?
I agree wholeheartedly. And I would only add very simply, before you achieve, you must believe. And so these are very wise words from Mary McLeod Bethune, after whom Bethune-Cookman University was named. So she was a very wise woman, and these are indeed words of wisdom.
All right.
Let us move on. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? What's going on?
Okay, so we had President Biden's debate performance because the new photo, for some reason, was not uploading. But President Biden has stepped down. He is no longer seeking re-election. What say you, partner? I'll let you start this off.
Well, I have to say that when I first heard that he was stepping down, you and I discussed it on the phone, and I have to say, I was very upset. I was disappointed that he has stepped down, because when we had discussed it earlier on our last episode, although I had conceded that his debate performance against Donald Trump was a poor performance, and he appeared just very frail and weak. Despite that performance, as I said before, I was still planning to support him and vote for him in the upcoming election, just based on his record. His administration has a very strong record of uh, important policies that were passed that are going to help Americans. So despite that, again, I was planning to, because of his strong record, I was planning to vote for him and support him. And so when he decided that he was going to step down, when it was announced on Sunday, I really couldn't believe it. I thought it was fake news or a rumor. So I was really disappointed because I thought that it was going to cause confusion. People were not going to come out and vote because of the uncertainty of who the nominee was going to be. And a lot of names were floated, possible people who could, run in his place. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, uh, just several names of other, white men, uh, just to be blunt about it, were being floated to take his place. And so without knowing who that was going to be, I just thought it was just not a wise thing for the party to do, for him to just step down. And and mind you, he only stepped down because of the pressure from the leaders of the Democratic Party. They were pressuring him when the actor, what's his name?
George Clooney.
George Clooney did the op-ed and publicly stated that he needed to step down. And with all of that pressure, he stepped down. And I just thought it was a poor plan for him to step down without being able to announce who was going to be the nominee in his place. So again, I was very upset about that. But then the next day, when he announced that he was endorsing Kamala Harris, I felt much better about it. And I saw everybody getting excited about it, everybody rallying around the idea of her being the nominee. And now that she's the presumptive nominee and she's raised millions of dollars in a short amount of time with all the calls from the different demographics, I'm excited about it. And I think a lot of people, it's re-energized the party. And I think it's going to cause people to, especially the people who were planning to sit it out for various reasons, I think her candidacy could actually get people up off the couch and out to the polls to vote. So now I'm excited. I do feel bad about how they treated Biden, because I don't think that he deserved all of that pressure to step down. He had done a fantastic job from a policy perspective. So I thought that his record again warranted him being reelected. And I think that he was treated poorly. But putting that aside, I'm happy to see that Vice President Kamala Harris is now the presumptive nominee. And again, with his speech, when he came out after it was announced on Sunday that he was stepping down, and then he gave the speech from the Oval Office on that Wednesday, I even gained more respect for Biden as a public servant and as our president, because I thought what I liked most about his speech is when he said, I am willing to put the best interest of the country above my own personal ambition to win re-election. And I thought that that just showed his strength of character, and just it showed how much of a just a better person that he is than a Trump, who would never do that, because all Trump thinks about is his own ego and about just being able to be a king, basically, an autocrat, and run the country as with immunity and being above the law. So that's how I felt about it. How did you feel about it?
So you said a lot, so there's a lot to address.
Yeah, I
I
did.
I don't have the thoughts that you had. I feel like Donald Trump on a ticket by himself is enough for people to vote in the other direction. I don't think that Donald Trump's character, who he is as a person, I don't see a lot of people going to the polls and voting for him, because he has shown us his true characters. He's a felon. He is crooked. He is corrupt. He's out for his own self-interest. And I just don't see people. So with Biden stepping down, I didn't have an issue with that, because I felt whoever they put in place, people are just going to vote for him because it's a vote for that person, because it's a vote against Trump. Now, one thing I can say is they did not disregard Kamala Harris when they were mentioning the other nominees, because the first thing they brought up was, are they going to unite behind Kamala? And I felt like there was no way I agree with you that the Democratic Party was going to usurp her, because then they would say she wasn't a good VP candidate to begin with. Like, she wasn't ready to run the country if something happened to President Biden before. Now, I want to defend the people who were telling him to step down. There has been stories coming out of the White House and the Republicans got on the Democrats for this, that they were not really reporting Biden's health correctly. And they said that, not that he was relapsing, I forgot the word that they used, but that he
Declining?
was tired, and his his mental capacity was, they didn't
Declining.
use the word declining, but in question. I think they were trying to be polite with that. So the pressures under him, it just wasn't George Clooney. It was Hakeem Jeffries. It was Nancy Pelosi, and one other person. Now, I do agree with you. The way they went about it, the tactics that they used was poor. But after hearing what they were saying, these are people, and that's when President Biden took a step back and said, if serious people, and Chuck Schumer was the other one. So it was Schumer, Pelosi, and Jeffries, and they're heavyweights in the Democratic Party. And Biden even said, I have to take a look at this and reassess it. If heavyweights in the Democratic Party are telling me, like, I think it's time for you to step aside. And so he came out and he gave the speech. I thought people would rally behind Kamala. I still think there's a lot of criticism about Kamala, but it doesn't compare to Donald Trump. So I'm okay, right, with Kamala Harris. I'm interested to see who she picks as her VP. I'm okay with that. I wish Joe Biden's, President Biden, health and strength, and that he can remain comfortable, during his days on Earth. But I thought it was a prudent decision. I thought it was a wise decision what he did. Now let's just move forward.
Well, let me just say why I think that it was disrespectful the way they treated him. Because Biden was the one who came in and basically saved us from another 4 years of Trump. We supported Joe Biden above all of the other presidential candidates, including Vice President Kamala Harris at the time, because we knew that he was the only one who had the name recognition, who had the many years of public service under his belt, who had the political connections to defeat Trump. And we knew at that time that he was an old man. We knew he was old then, but we still thought that he was the only one that could beat Trump. So, in my opinion, to then the thanks that he gets now is to ask to be, is to be asked to step down. I think was just the way they did it was disrespectful. I think that they should, I mean,
I don't see. Tell me the disrespect because they were talking.
Okay, this is what it looks like to me. It's like
him.
okay,
They were
it's
talking
like
to him behind closed doors, and they were coming to him. He kept moving forward. He gave that speech like he's still going to fight. And so now I agree with you on this. The pressure they put on because they felt like we got to take it to the public to put pressure on him so he can sit down.
Right. I mean, come on. I think he just deserved more than that. I mean, he saved us from another 4 years of Trump. Like, I think it could have been done in a more just respectful manner. Like, I don't think that he deserved all of that public humiliation. And it's like, this is the thanks I give for the service that I gave to this country. You know what I mean? And so I just felt like it should have been a better plan than that. It should have been why couldn't they ask him to why couldn't they ask him to resign or something like that, like, and let Kamala Harris take his place before he announced re-election or something like that? I just think it could have been any other plan except for the public humiliation that he had to go through. Even the fact that they allowed him to do that, even the fact that they allow him to do that debate, like, if it was that big of a problem, y'all knew he was sick. Like, why would you put him out there like that and then complain that he had a poor performance? He was set up. It's like he was almost set up for failure.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. You're talking without having the privy of the inner sanctums of what's going on in the
Of course. I mean, I'm just like any other American citizen. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying to you is like they did go talk to him. They did ask him.
Oh, now you know, but I don't know.
I read the articles. I told you that. I said that in my first time talking. I said there's reports that came out the White House that they were talking to him about maybe you should step aside for this. Looking at him, he doesn't look physically capable. And I'm not talking about even him speaking. I'm talking about when I saw, we didn't talk, I think we talked about this on the phone. When I saw him in church with Kamala Harris, and I kept saying, like, they don't need to put cameras on him because he doesn't look, he looked frozen. He looked like he wasn't aware of his surroundings. That's how he looked. I'm not saying he was. Well, I'm trying to get to you, what is the disrespect when a party is asking you to step aside? Like, how is that disrespectful? They honored him for what he did. You know, he was the most viable candidate, as you said, but I thought anybody was going to beat Trump, honestly. I thought anybody was going to beat him, honestly. So I'm just trying to, the only thing I
including a feeble Biden.
Right? Maybe. I would have still voted for him.
Right.
I didn't vote for Trump. I'll vote for an 8th grader.
Right.
For, the president of junior high school. I mean, seriously. But I wanted you to let the listeners know, what do you mean by the disrespect they showed him? You said something else, like But
I mean, the public humiliation, like
that's what you said, the public humiliation.
right, the
Well,
op-ed piece, and then everybody saying, "Oh, he's speculating about his health." I mean, it just wasn't cool. I mean, he disclosed his like every president does have to disclose the results of their physicals and their, whatever health issues they may have.
that was a part of the conversation that they were lying about that.
Well, will we ever know that?
I mean, it's already leaked in articles that they said that, but
No, but that is it. But what is his? Nobody has an official medical diagnosis for what may
I
be.
mean, they do have official medical diagnosis. You saying we not privy to it? That's one thing. But if they have it, they have it. I agree with you. I think a feeble Biden would have still won because I just don't see people voting for Trump. I just don't.
Well, I hope you're right about that.
Yeah. So, well, Biden is down, Harris is up. But up in other news,
Let us move on.
former President Trump shot. This was something else.
Mm.
I had my doubts about the shooting, so I'll be straightforward with you. What I read about the gentleman that shot the rifle, a lot of people saw him going up on the side of the building. They called out, they saw him climbing with a rifle, and they let Secret Service know. First question, how he get the shot off, how he get up there. How was nobody on that rooftop? Because when presidents come by, they scour the place.
They do.
Services. The president came to my hometown and they had everything covered within sight. They even checked trees. And he was inside. So that was speculation number one. But the thing that made me say, okay, this is for real, is somebody got killed. Somebody got shot and killed. And I'm sure that that wasn't a part of the plan. I don't know. A lot of people were speculating, did he get pierced by the bullet? Or did he go down and cut himself? That I don't know. I don't know how much of a marksman this person is. To shoot somebody's ear, you have to be a heck of a marksman. And I just don't think that's the case. But they said that he had years of training with the rifle. They wound up killing him.
You talk about Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Yeah. I felt like, I don't know, it was just suspicious to me. And I apologize to anybody that I'm hurting by making this statement, but you get shot in the ear, in the head, like if they try to shoot you, they're going to tackle you to the ground. They're going to throw you to the ground. If you look at the picture now, he got up, he was pumping his fist. He still was out in open air. He could have got shot again. All of them could have got shot again. They tackle the person and get him out, duck his head but that didn't happen. All the way to the truck. He's fight. And I'm just saying, if I got shot, I would be on some, and I wasn't thinking about anything else. I'm not Donald Trump. However he thinks. I just thought it was suspicious. I'm sorry he got shot. I don't wish death upon anybody. But it just looks suspicious to me. What say you?
When you say suspicious, are you suggesting that this was all staged?
Well, yeah, if I can't come up with a better term for it, yeah.
Well, you know what? The thing is I wouldn't put it past Donald Trump to stage something like this. But the only thing that makes me second guess that is that I just don't see somebody sacrificing their life to helped Donald Trump stage an attempted assassination. In other words, Thomas Matthew, so you would have to believe that Thomas Matthew Crooks volunteered to get shot by the Secret Service
No,
in this staged assassination attempt.
you don't have to believe that. They could have told him, you going to shoot, you going to go down the back of the building, get in a car, and you going to, get away. They could have told him that, and they had no intentions of letting him get away. They was going to fire him up. So they could have lied to him. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. So now you accusing the Secret Service of murder.
I don't know if it's the Secret Service.
Well, that's who would have to agree to kill him.
No, I mean,
hey, you see what I'm saying?
Let me say it's strange fruit to me. That's what I'm saying. It just didn't.
Well, I hear you, but that's the only thing that's keeping me from believing that it was staged. Because I'm like, I don't see anyone sacrificing their life for Donald Trump's cockamamie.
Some people said if you had information on them that they didn't want to come out.
If you had information on the person who agreed to do it?
Yeah.
And kind of blackmailed them into doing it?
Could be.
Well, from what we know about this Thomas Matthew Crooks, I doubt it, because he was just a nerd in high school. They said he couldn't even make the whatever artillery club, whatever it was, the shooting club or whatever, because he was such a bad shot. And that's the other thing. They said that he shot 8 times. And I mean, again, I agree with you. We don't wish death upon anyone, but if you shoot 8 times and you still couldn't hit your target, I mean, you are a pretty bad shot.
He hit his target. He just didn't kill his target.
Well, the thing about it, though, that is in question. It's a question about whether or not the bullet actually hit his ear or some shrapnel or broken glass or something hit his ear.
But did he go down and cut himself?
I'm not even going to go that far.
These are things that are floating out there. Did you retrieve the bullets?
One thing I did notice, okay, there's so much about this situation that just makes you wonder. But one thing I did notice is I think what helped save his life, which again, I'm glad he was not killed. I don't want to see anyone killed. But I think one thing that saved his life is when you look at it, and he's up at the podium and he's speaking, he turned to look at the screen. There was a graph on the screen and he was referring to the graph. And so he was looking at it. And when he shifted, that's when his ear was grazed. So that could have been what saved his life, because I'm sure, like we all seen the movies where you have the snipers on the roof, they aim, and once they get somebody in the crosshairs, they think they got the shot, so they just shoot from there. But if somebody shift, now you miss your target. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so here's what I heard. Bullets were being fired. There was bullets fired before he got hit.
So what does that indicate?
So that indicates once you hear shots, get down and act like you're hit.
Okay, but he didn't do that.
Yeah, he did do that.
So you're saying those were like warning shots? I don't
know how it is, but what I'm just saying, it all looked fishy to me. Like I said, in the after effects of it is really what made me suspicious. If somebody's getting shot and somebody's trying to kill somebody, and the crowd even said they pointed the guy out going up on the roof. How did he get up on the roof? How was nobody else already up there on the roof?
You want me to tell you what I think? I think the reason why Thomas Matthew Crooks, or whatever his name is, got away with this is white privilege. At a Trump rally, this is what I'm saying to you. At a Trump rally, he's going to blend in with the rest of the people. So if that were you or me, we would stick out like a sore thumb, and they're going to have eyes on us.
But he didn't stick out like a sore thumb. Everybody pointed.
That's my point of what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, you're not. They're saying the guy is climbing the building with a gun. That's not sticking out. That's people telling people like, look, we all see him.
Okay, but listen to this. Listen to this.
You get to the roof, nobody's there. Now, I just read earlier today that the Secret Service is being held liable for the lack of security. Because why wasn't anybody on that roof? This should have been like 2 or 3 soldiers up there on the roof.
Right.
So that right there, of course we going to stick out.
But like I'm saying, but listen, remember Kyle Rittenhouse, who was able to walk up and down the street with a assault rifle at a protest? He's the one. Remember that, the one who ended up killing one of the protesters.
Yeah,
and he was acquitted.
A couple of people.
Right. You couldn't walk down the street with an assault rifle without being stopped and questioned as to why the heck you got an assault rifle.
There were a lot of black people there. So
yes, right. You see what I'm saying?
But I'm saying this ain't the same incident.
Shante, what I'm saying to you, I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is how did apparently he rode his bike to this rally and he had to be carrying the gun. This is an assault rifle.
You're making my point. Go keep talking.
Right. So I guess we're both saying the same thing. My point is you would have never been able to do that.
I don't deny that, but that's
all I'm saying. That's why I said white privilege.
Wait, no, so you're saying then you're not saying white privilege, you're saying they allowed him to do it.
Do you think you would have gotten that far?
I know I wouldn't. It's not the same argument. I'm telling you, it's not the same.
Yes, he was allowed to do it.
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Forget about me. Why are they allowing him to shoot?
Because he's white. He's a white boy.
And so they're gonna allow the white boy to shoot and kill the president?
They're gonna allow him to walk around with his gun. It's a Second Amendment right.
Kim.
That's all I'm saying.
Kim.
Yes.
Kim, they killed him.
Yeah, they did.
They killed him. So that throws out that whole white privilege stuff. You making my case. He riding to the thing. I don't mean to laugh. Okay, hold on. He ride his bike with a rifle on his back, right? That's what you're saying.
Right.
And you saying, how? You saying, well, they allow him to do it because he's white. I said, okay, so they allow him to climb the building because he's white, and they allow him to have a rifle because he's white, and they allow him to shoot at the president because he's white. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I am. Because not when you or I would have never been able to get that far with it. That's
a different argument. Nobody's arguing. Why you keep bringing that?
That's not a different argument. It's the same argument.
It's not, Kim.
You would have never been able to take a shot
you
at
keep
the president.
Telling me something that I don't disagree with.
Right.
That's why I say it's not an argument. It has nothing to do with my black body. What I'm saying is what you were saying. They let him ride down the street with the rifle on his back, on a bike, climb up the side of the building where people were pointing him out. Nobody's on the roof of the building, and he shot. And you're saying that, well, that's white privilege, Shante. No, that's not, because he tried to kill Donald Trump. If that's what you're saying, that's why I say it's all
right, Shante. Whatever.
I don't see how you don't understand my argument, because I don't understand. You're saying, like,
I really think we're saying the same thing, but you're not listening. We're saying the same thing.
You're interjecting something that has no concern with the killing of Trump. You're saying my black body would have been recognized. What I'm saying is his white body was recognized.
Yeah, but it was recognized.
Okay, say for instance, there's a big there's a big party going on at the White House, right? And this hobnobbing, right? You and I, if we're invited to that party, I guarantee you they're gonna ask for ID. Every African American that walks into that party, ID, your name on the list. Blah, blah.
I think everybody has to.
In your case, I think some people, if their name wasn't on the list, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, you're such and such. Go ahead in." That will.
Not the White House. Not the White House. Everybody goes through security at the White House.
All right. Well, any other place than that, there's a big white function. There's a function at, because now you're saying that it doesn't matter, it will be security. So what I'm saying, hold on, let me finish, Kim. Let me finish. The president is speaking, right? anytime the president or a former president or a candidate is speaking, there's massive security. So what I'm saying is, it's suspicious that this kid got up on a building with a rifle when people were pointing him out and there was nobody on top of the roof to secure him. That's what I'm saying. So if you're saying the same thing, you're saying like, well, then how did they let him do it? How did they let him take shots at President Trump? It's suspicious to me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So all I'm saying is it's the same as with the January 6th insurrection, the same argument that people were making about that. If there were Black Lives Matter protesters descending upon the Capitol like the January 6th insurrectionists did, they would have never been able to penetrate the perimeter. They would have never been able to get inside the Capitol. That's what I'm saying. It's a certain white privilege that white people have, that they can move through the world, and in this case they would have been able to move through the rally perimeter or whatever with a gun without being questioned, without being stopped. And so I'm suggesting that if he had been a Black person with a long rifle, he may have been stopped before he got that far. That's all I'm saying.
But that's a different argument.
How is that
different? It is, because you're bringing up a different argument. You're saying like a Black person wouldn't have got that part. I've said this since you said it. I agree. But it has nothing to, what I'm saying is the shooting of Donald Trump, that's what we're talking about, is very suspicious to me.
No, I get it. You're suggesting that they allowed him or even encouraged him to do it.
It seems suspicious to me.
So I get that.
This wasn't. I'm trying to think of another function where, say, it was a protest and Donald Trump wasn't around. Then your argument makes more sense that way. But this is a person that was trying to kill the president. So what I'm saying is, I don't care how much white privilege you want. They're not going to let you try to, well, let him go up there and try to do it. You know, he white, so we trust him. I mean, no, that's suspicious to me. I'm like, how he get up on the roof? And everybody's saying it. How he get up on the roof?
Okay.
That's all that's
well, when they took him out, was it at point blank range or were they shooting from another building? I think they were shooting from another building, like they were on top of another building.
Distance, yeah, they shot and killed him. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Why weren't they on that building?
Right. They on one building, but not on another.
They should be on every building roof in the vicinity.
Right.
That's just
yeah. So I mean, they are answering for that. They've been at hearings on Capitol Hill answering for the lax security and the
we'll find out one day if that joint was staged or not.
But let me tell you the other thing about that I noticed about the shooting. If you look at videos of it, everybody who was behind Trump in the stands, I'm like, why are these people still sitting there?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you're right.
That's how you know it's a bunch of white people at a rally. Because if those were Black people, we'd have been gone. It would have been at the first shot. We'd have hit the deck or been gone.
Where was the rally again?
In Pennsylvania, I think.
Okay, yeah, it was somewhere in Pennsylvania. I would like to say in any urban city.
Oh, it'd have been like roaches.
Yeah.
Gone.
Black, white, and Hispanic. They would have been gone.
That's crazy. I'm like, why are these people sitting here like, oh, where did those bullets come from? Like, you don't think
at first some of them said it didn't sound like gunshots, it sounded like firecrackers.
I don't know what it sound like.
Because if you hear a firecracker, poop, 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 you'd be like, who lighting firecrackers? But when you see somebody near you get popped,
right. You're gonna hit the deck.
You gonna
get loose in them. Get loose in them.
Yeah. You are definitely going to go on. Let us move on. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, Kamala Harris for president. This is a nice picture of her, actually.
Mhm.
She does look presidential. She does look African American to me. But yeah, she could. She definitely. Her mom is of Indian descent, Asian. Um, I'm happy about this. Here are my reasons why. One, it's a woman. I would say that. I think it's been overdue that a woman step in and run the country. I'm fine with that. Two, it's an African American woman, an Asian woman. I'm fine with that. Three, she went to a HBCU. I'm super fine with that. Four, she is a part of a D9 organization. I'm fine with that. Um, what I mean by that, all of that is representation. And I think that matters. It matters when people that look like her can see her in a powerful position and have the belief that they can achieve anything. Because if somebody could fly to the moon, if somebody could be the president of the United States, then yeah, we talked about Mary McLeod Bethune, without faith, nothing is possible. And I just think this is refreshing. Now, I do have my criticism of Kamala Harris, but it doesn't outweigh the criticism I have of Donald Trump.
Mhm.
I don't see divisiveness and evilness coming in. She might have some harsh rules, right? Um, but, and I have my thoughts about that too when I debate with other African American men. Just like I debated with the judge, what's his name? The attorney that came on the podcast, your guy.
Oh, the Honorable Alexander Williams
Yeah.
Jr.,
When I had my
Judge
debate with
Williams.
Brother
Yeah.
Williams over the three strike system.
Hmm.
So I can have conversations about that. But I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she is running for president. I'm interested to see who her VP is. What say you?
I agree. Vice President Kamala Harris has my full support as the Democratic nominee for the presidency. She has my vote. I think that she is capable, she is qualified, she is ready, willing, and able to do this job. So I have no reservations about her being the president. And in fact, I take umbrage to the whole discussion about her qualifications. I find that I'm going to say it's not fair for people to now question her qualifications. It's the same thing that happened with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson after she was nominated um, to become a justice, the first African American woman justice on the Supreme Court. Her qualifications came into question, and it just seems to me that whenever we are discussing a Black woman being elevated to a leadership position or a position of power, qualifications all of a sudden become of the utmost importance, and that is in situations where their qualifications are unquestionable and in many cases unmatched. And so that's what I take umbrage to. All of a sudden, now her qualifications are so important. And we know her record. She does not have to defend her record. She does not have to prove that she is worthy of this position. And we can run down her resume and put it up against anyone, especially Donald Trump. But do you recall when Donald Trump was running, at any time with him running, nobody questions his educational background. Nobody questions
That's not true.
Oh, I think it's very true.
No,
I
that's
think
not
it's
true.
very true. He always wants to ask about somebody's transcript, but
Democrat,
he's never
The
He's never
Democrat
disclosed his
question,
transcript. But now that it's a black woman,
hold
now
on.
all of a sudden,
I can't let you get
you
away
got a
with that.
question.
Let me say this. I agree what you say about Kamala Harris, but don't tell me that Kamala Harris,
Vice President Kamala Harris. Get it right.
I take a breath.
Okay.
What I'm saying is when Donald Trump was running in 2016, the Democrats were putting out scathing reports about this guy.
So you're defending Donald Trump now?
No, what I'm saying is you're saying that they didn't question him and his qualifications. And I'm saying, yes, they did.
Did they question Amy Coney Barrett's qualifications and her background the way they did Vice President or Justice Sonya Brown Jackson?
You said Donald Trump.
Well, it's everybody except for a black woman. Everybody except for black women.
Okay, so
it's not a question about their background.
They
their
don't
qualification.
They don't question black men. They question Obama's background. Of course they did. Stop being divisive between us. Like it only happens to black women. It doesn't. It doesn't happen to black. I agree with you. They shouldn't question her quality. She doesn't even have to defend it because her resume speaks for itself.
But you wouldn't know that the way they start talking about her qualifications.
You wouldn't know that if you pay attention to what they say and what they say only, and you listen to particular channels. If you listen to Fox News, Democrat, MSNBC, and CNN, they herald her record, right? So, like I said, to me, it's not like, oh, they only question people on Fox News is questioning Kamala Harris. That's what they're doing. MSNBC.
I have to say,
Al Jazeera, CNN, they're not questioning Kamala Harris.
Let me give you another example.
And who's on Amy? Who you said? Amy who?
Amy Coney Barrett, Justice Amy Coney Barrett, the white woman on the Supreme Court. Yes. Amy, yeah. You're trying to think what?
I'm trying to remember when she was nominated. She was
the one that was pushed through so fast you don't even recall. Amy Coney Barrett. She had no judicial experience in her past, but she was pushed through by the Republican Party. She's the one with the black children and that whole thing. She adopted black children, but anyway, the point, and that's the thing, you didn't hear her get grilled like Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson did. But anyway, the point, another example that I was going to give is that Vice President Kamala Harris has to be the first vice president in history who was asked on more than one occasion, is she prepared to step in and become president if something should happen to President Biden? No other vice president in history has been asked that question. But people, and that implies that she's not prepared. It's like, I'm the freaking vice president. What do you mean, am I prepared?
Dan Quayle was the vice.
And guess what? Whether I'm prepared or not, guess what? If something, God forbid, should happen to President Biden, I'm going to be your president. So get used to it.
Let me say this. All your fervor, I'm behind. But to me, it's not needed. But I will say Dan Quayle was the vice president for George Bush Sr. He was the VP, and he got slaughtered, when he spelled potato wrong. All of that stuff came down. They was like, they were calling him all kinds of names when he was there. I get it. They're going to, this is what I'm saying is, I am not surprised that they're questioning Kamala Harris this way. I'm not surprised because she's an African-American woman. That's simple. That's going to happen.
And right. So that's all I'm saying. That's my only point.
All I want her to say is, check my record.
That's racist and that's sexist, though. The fact that she has to even entertain
sexist.
Right. The fact that she has to entertain these questions is racist and it's sexist. And that's just how I feel about it. They're even now trying to question her foreign, what am I trying to say? Her
intelligence on foreign matters.
Her foreign relations experience. It's another word, but yeah, her for her experience with foreign affairs or international relations experience or whatever.
Yeah, they're gonna question everything. It's just like you just went on a whole diatribe about me on my bike with a rifle when the guy passed the first stop sign, right? and but I'm saying this is what I expect. And you listen to Straight from the Heart. Naeem said this, and he's right. He says when she gets elected, it's going to be worse. He says they're going to call her all kinds of things, black bees and this, that, almost like they're going to call her everything except a child of God. And he said that, and I agree. He says, wait till she gets elected and see what happens then. Because you saw what they did to Obama. They just going to double it with her, right? But all we can do is defend her honor, you know. Like I said, her resume speaks for herself. I mean, Clinton's resume was way better than Donald Trump's resume.
Right.
Right. And they put that up there side to side, you know, but unfortunately, you know, they looked at the corruption that they thought the Clintons were involved with. And that kind of casts her to the side. Well, let's see what happens now, because I can't believe they put Donald Trump in the White House in the first place. But they said it's because he was running against. Now let's see. I don't think people are going to vote for him the way I think he's going to do worse than he did in 2020.
I hope you're right. But what concerns me is that the leaders of the Republican Party are silent on this issue. Nobody is coming out saying that Donald Trump should step down because he is a 34-time convicted felon and all of the other negative things on his record that I'm not going to go down because I've done it many times. Nobody in the Republican Party, the leaders are not coming out and saying we shouldn't support him. In fact, this is the best that the Republican Party could put forth was a Donald Trump. And you know why? Because they think that he's the only one who's going to win, Kim, and all they care about is winning.
Kim, let me say something.
By any means necessary.
Kim, I love your fervor, right? But I'm here as your homie just to... Mitt Romney has gone off on Trump and says... Did
he ask him to step down?
Yeah, he said he shouldn't be running.
Has that created the pressure from the Republican?
No, it hasn't created that. Yeah. Right? There are a lot of people running scared of Donald Trump. I get that. But at the end of the day, it's so good that the public gets to decide.
Yes, it is. And I'm very encouraged by the different calls that have taken place with the different demographics, the white women for Kamala Harris, the black women for Kamala Harris, the black, everybody.
Right, LGBTQ, yeah. Everybody.
Yes, and so that is very encouraging.
Yeah, it's encouraging because a lot of people just like the other choice. Well, we'll see what happens.
I hope we get some new voters to get up off the couch, get registered, and come on out, support Vice President Kamala Harris so that we can.
Is your organization doing any voter registration? PG
yes.
County? Yeah. So we're grouping with the AKs to do something. All right.
Let us move on.
I love that visual.
The Olympic, it was when I Googled it, that's what I saw. The Olympics in Paris has been going on since last Friday past. Some of the things that have happened, Simone Biles again from Spring, Texas, where I hail right now, not too far. 7 minutes from me, actually.
Did you see that her documentary on Netflix?
Not yet.
Oh, you should check it out. It's good.
she won the all around gold, and she did win the gold on the what is that? The vault,
Oh, the floor exercises.
not the floor exercise, the vault, like not the horse, but the vault when they run.
Oh yeah.
She won the gold for that. So she's there. Sha'Carri Richardson, unfortunately, lost to a sister from Saint Lucia.
But
She
she got a
she
silver
didn't
medal.
lose. She got silver, right? But
Yeah.
she was trying to get gold. Noah Lyles also got a silver. He didn't finish. So these are
But
the
that was hold on. That was 100 meters that he got the silver in. His
yeah.
event though is the 200 meters. Do we know how he did in that one?
I don't. I think they're running that today.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
That's the one I think he's gonna get the gold in because that's his race right there.
so the men's Olympic team, the basketball team, these are things that I'm interested in. I saw them beat Puerto Rico yesterday, and now they're in the elimination rounds. I think they play Brazil. Ooh, I don't know if it's Saturday. They played Brazil first, and Serbia played South Sudan, and Serbia. That's with Jokic, who was on the Denver Nuggets. They beat South Sudan, but South Sudan's coach was arguing because Serbia got 6 fouls called against them. Sudan got 31 fouls called against them. And he thought that it was outright ridiculous, the coach. I watched some of the rowing. I watched the table tennis, they call it, ping pong in our neighborhood. It was two women from China. It was excellent match. I played ping pong growing up, but not nowhere near that level. I saw the crew, we call it rowing. I saw those races. I saw some of the skeet shooting. I like to see other things that you don't see. Like
Oh, like yeah, like not very popular sport.
yeah. I mean, I'm going to watch basketball because I love it. I'm going to watch track and field and swimming because I like anything that's a race. I'm gonna watch.
I saw the Katie Ledecky race, and she won 2 gold medals, a silver medal, and a bronze medal so far.
She's highly decorated.
Yeah, she's from Maryland.
Oh, Katie Ledecky's from Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Phelps is from Baltimore. He's from Maryland too. So Maryland.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you turning out the swimmers, right?
the brother that was in the gymnastics, he won. I don't know if he won a bronze or a silver medal. I forgot his name. So these are the things that's been going on with the Olympic Games. It's in Paris in 2028. I think it's in Los Angeles.
It's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go out there in 2028. Oof, I'll be 59 years old.
It's gonna be where?
I think in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, 2034, the Winter Olympics is gonna be in Utah.
Mm.
So let's see what happens with that. All righty.
Let us move on.
All right, so everybody's talking about this horrific shooting by. I'm sorry, it's not Sandra, it's Sonya Massey.
Yeah,
right?
it's Sony.
Yeah. All right.
You know why I think you did that? I think that was just subliminal because it's so many people that have been unjustly killed by the police, and Sandra Bland is one. So you start to get all these names confused because there's so many.
Yeah, but I should do that But all right, so yeah, this is a picture real quick of uh what's
Sonya.
um what's the shooter's name?
The
Grayson.
shooter.
Yeah. Grayson. What was his first name? Uh, in the reports they keep just saying Grayson. Like I'm trying to get his first name. Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Grayson is the shooter
Mm-hmm.
of Sonya Massey. The video is very disturbing. Um, they said she had some mental illness, but if you're looking at the video, I don't see how he was threatened at all.
Yeah.
He backed up. First of all, to me, he could have went and turned the stove off himself while she was sitting down on the couch and poured the water in the sink. He has a horrific record.
Mm-hmm.
Transferred several times. So to me, I'm looking at the entire police department of how this guy is still licensed to have a gun. He definitely murdered her. It is straight murder, and a lot of cops are speaking out against him of what he did. So he doesn't have any sentiments at all for what he did.
So yeah, I guess my first question was, if Sonya Massey called the police because she was concerned about an intruder in her home or concerned about a prowler, she heard somebody on the outside of the house trying to break in. So she called the police to come and investigate for protection. And so when they investigated, looked around the perimeter of the home, and they saw that there was no evidence of any type of break-in, they didn't see anyone loitering around the house. They told her they didn't find anything. And so it's like a reassurance. Okay, ma'am, we checked. There's no problems here. So to me, and at that point, they were on the outside of the house and she was at the door, right? So I'm like, okay, to me, that seems like that's the end of your investigation. Everything's okay. Now you can leave. So I'm like, why did they then come inside the house and start asking her for her identification? Like, that's the part that I'm confused about. So that's why I'm thinking, as you said, that this appeared to be a flat out murder.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to do something,
Yeah.
because it could have been over. You could have left and everything could have been okay.
They
But
all said he was too aggressive with his language and his mouth with her.
yeah, I just didn't understand, how do you justify coming into the woman's home and then asking her for her identification? Like, that's the part I didn't get. But then I heard someone say, and I don't know if this is true or not, or if this is a possibility, but I may have heard it on Straight from the Heart. Somebody said she could have been um the actual
And
assailant or the intruder, and the real homeowner could have been tied up in a back bedroom or something.
yeah, you heard it from straight from the heart.
Okay. Yeah. So I said, okay, that's reasonable, but I think that police are supposed to be trained in this kind of thing. So I think you could tell based on the demeanor of the person, like, just physical evidence, whether that's a possibility. Do you see any sign of somebody breaking in, or do you hear anything? You know what I'm saying? So they would have to show me. And that's the other thing. The police never alleged that. Like, in the aftermath of this, they never said, well, we thought that she could have been they didn't say that. They just said, oh, she wasn't going to throw me I wasn't trying to get assaulted with hot boiling water, because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. But she said that because she probably sensed, that something was untoward, and the
I
spirit.
would have backed up when she said that to him.
And that's the other thing, Shantae. If you were so concerned and
Well,
scared, all you had to do was
he
leave.
backed
Leave.
he backed up a step, but he could have backed out the door.
backed out the door. I would have ran out the door. Like, it's not
He
that
said,
serious.
he pointed his gun. She said, she got down and she said, I'm sorry, and then he blasted her.
So that's my thing. Again, if you concerned that he was way across the room from her, if you're concerned about somebody throwing water, run out the house. It's not like it's a crime in progress that you need to deal with. I would have left. I'd have been like, she gonna be all right. I'm out. But no, they wanted to stay, and they wanted to. It's almost like they provoked a confrontation so that they could justify. And honestly,
it was mainly him.
I know, but if that's my partner, I'd have been like, yo, let's go.
But that's
just
true.
Let it go. Let's go.
There's no way. Right. When he pulled the gun, I would have said that.
Right.
But there's no way in the world. Like, I guess when he said what he said, like, I'll shoot you in your effing face, I would have been like, whoa, chill,
it's
man.
It's not that serious. Right. Yeah, come on now.
Yeah. But see, everything's on body cam now. But he had his body camera off. Grayson. Right. The other guy had his body camera on. That's how we seeing it.
So I wonder, does he have any culpability in this situation?
Yes. No. Oh, you saying the partner?
Right. Whose body cam was on?
I don't know if he has.
Okay, so because remember George Floyd, those other officers who stood by were charged.
But remember one of them shouldn't have been charged. I think it was the Asian guy, maybe. He told my man twice, like, you should take your, knee off of his neck. Like, let's roll him over. And I forgot the guy's name now. It's been so long. He denied him twice. But you're right, they all got charged. So I don't know how culpable he is. To me, he didn't do much. I mean, if I'm looking at that video.
And that's your problem. That's going to be your problem.
Well, he pulled that gun out fast and shot her.
And then when he suggested that, we need to get the medical equipment and try to help her, he was like, I'm not going to waste my medical equipment on her. Remember that?
Yeah, but he did. That was bad, but he was right. She was dead. He shot her in the face. Even I got a fraternity brother that's the chief of police. He's like, it's horrible the way he talked and sounded, but a headshot, you can get the recovery all out you want to. If it's a headshot to the face, they gone.
But Shantae, the fact that he said that,
he's a cold coward.
It shows his insensitivity and his just lack of empathy.
To me, they should already knew that about him.
Right. So how did he even get hired?
How is he going anywhere with the gun? He should be signed to desk duty and printing out flyers for the local whatever.
For lost dogs.
He should not be. He should not. He should not be out on patrol with a gun. So
I agree.
I'm suing that whole police.
And yet Donald Trump, if he's reelected, wants to give all police officers complete immunity so that they can, quote unquote, do their jobs.
Yeah.
He out his John Brown mind.
You look at, not to get back on Trump, you look at Project 25, that's enough not to say don't vote for Trump.
Exactly.
That's but yeah, that was the
another senseless killing. Yes.
Yes.
Let us move on.
Am I tripping?
Hey.
Am I tripping?
Hey.
Am I tripping?
Oh.
But am I tripping?
Hey.
Am I tripping? You got me. Am I tripping? Got me sipping. Got me thinking. Am I tripping?
Hello. So this is the part of the show where we play the Am I Tripping game. This is a party game that was created by Reese Colbert. You can buy this on Amazon.com or amitrippinggame.com. Fairy dust, please.
Oh.
You're a little rusty. It's only been 3 weeks. Can I have some more? All right. Okay, so first scenario. After a night of drinking, my friend got sick and threw up in my car. I told him he needed to give me money to get it professionally cleaned, but he said it was my fault for pressuring him to keep drinking. I did keep buying shots, but as a grown man, he should have known his limit. Am I tripping?
Yes, you tripping. You tripping.
So if I throw up in your car, I don't have to get it
I'm not
clean.
going to charge you. You can say to me, Shantae, here's some money to get your car clean, but I ain't going to be like, Kim, you need to come up with some ducats to car clean. Especially if I'm like, happy birthday, toss it back. I'm buying you 3 shots, 4 shots. No, not at all. And I don't even know if I would take the money from you, honestly.
But here's the thing.
I tell folks, if you going out and you drinking and you think somebody what you gonna throw up, it's always good, and people laugh, to pack a towel or 2 in your car.
A bark bag.
A bark bag, yeah. Yeah, bark bag is even better.
But the only thing I disagree with is a grown person blaming another person for their decisions. You can't say, oh, well, you kept buying me shots, so it's your fault I threw up. Come on now, you're an adult. You can't decide what your limits are when you drinking. Come on now. You can't blame it on somebody else.
You never, like, if it's 2 people, I'm saying, yeah, you right. But if you going out, like, sometimes they're like, yo, come on, have one more drink. You like, nah, man, I'm twisted. One more. And you just get pressured into it. Be like, just have this one more with us. And they brought you to drink. And you go, yeah, that is pressure on you. And you got to remember, at that point in time, you already tipsy. So you just like, what the hell?
But you're going to blame somebody else for the results of your decision making?
I'm only gonna blame them if they trying to charge me to get their car shampoo.
But here's the thing: if you throw up in somebody's car, don't you feel bad? Like,
that's what I said. You might, but yeah, I don't know. I ain't gonna get mad at it like that. I'm gonna clean some of the stuff out myself. If they threw up on the floor, I'm gonna just take out the mat, spray it down, hose it down, and let it dry and put some scents on it. But then I'll probably take it to get shampooed. I'm not going to trip off of that. So
I think you are tripping. I have to say, I do think that you are tripping if you try to force your friends to do stuff like that.
The guy who asked, am I tripping, is the one that got his car thrown up in, right?
Right. But and the one who was pressuring the other person to drink.
Right. So I that's why I say you tripping. I think you tripping.
I think I agree with you. I agree with you because I just think as a general rule, I would not try to pressure my friends into doing anything like that. For example, I'm not into charging people gas money when they riding in your car and stuff like that. I don't do that to my friends. No. Like, even if I've had friends try to give me money for gas, I'm not taking your money's no good here. I'm not doing that. Yeah. That's not what friends do. Yeah. I mean, unless you have unless it's a plan. Like, hey, we're gonna go to the beach for the weekend. Yeah. We're gonna split up the cost, and it's like a group agreement.
Yeah.
I'm not into taking my friends' places in my car and charging money and stuff.
Going from Bowie to Annapolis, and
I just think that's in poor taste to charge your friends for
stuff. Sometimes you don't charge them. You just let them know, like, I don't really have the money to drive out there like that. And
that's different.
Gas.
That's different. That's different.
So I agree with you on that. But I think the brother tripping. You're gonna bring him out to drink. You're gonna give him more drink. I would have never done that. Like,
you tripping.
Yeah. Even more so, he could have told him, like, you're gonna come help me clean out the car.
Right. Or if I'm the friend, I'm gonna try to clean it out myself the next day. Like, oh my bad.
That's what I'm gonna do. That night I'm gonna get that throw up out of my car. Wherever he throw up, I'm gonna pull over to the side and get that out as quick as possible.
I know, but see, if you're inebriated, you're not in any state to be able to clean no car. So the friend can't do it.
Well,
The friend who threw
that's
up.
inebriated, yeah, can't. But the one
Yeah.
that's driving, if you driving, you should be able to clean out the car.
You're right. You're right. I'm not gonna have that in my car overnight. That's
Next
nasty.
time, get an Uber for the dude. But Uber, that's $250.
But do you feel like we've gotten to the age now? At this age, we too old to be throwing up and stuff like that. It's like, after all these years, you know what your limits are. We're too old to be throwing up after drinking.
We smart enough to not to mix our drinks. Yeah.
I just feel like we passed the throwing up stage. Like ain't nobody trying to do all that.
It happens sometimes if you having a good time.
When's the last time you threw up from drinking? Recently?
No.
I know you had some episodes where you may have, but you ain't been throwing up. That's college stuff.
I only threw up one time, and that's the first time I drank. And I didn't know I was mixing drinks. So I didn't know what I was doing. I never threw up after that.
The last time I threw up was 2017.
Okay.
I was probably too old then to be throwing up.
Yeah. Were you in your house? That don't count to me.
I'm gonna have to. I don't want to incriminate my friend, but my friend who knows who they are, if they listening, they know who they are, and they was gassing me up, buying drinks.
Okay.
But okay, so can I have some fairy dust? Okay, so I don't believe in buying new clothes because of the environmental waste created by fast fashion. When my friend asked me to be a bridesmaid, I said okay, on the condition that I could wear a thrifted dress. That's a dress from the thrift store. She said absolutely not, and that supporting her should be a good enough reason to make an exception to my rule. I told her it actually wasn't a good enough reason, and now I'm not even invited to the wedding. Am I tripping?
Who's asking?
You tripping? Are you tripping for telling your friend that you'll be in her wedding, but you're going to buy your dress from the thrift store because you don't want to?
She's tripping for not inviting you to the wedding. I just would have said to her, like, no, you just won't be a bridesmaid, and you can wear whatever thrifty dress you want.
True. I think you tripping. I think you are tripping. Your friend this is a once in a lifetime occasion. Your friend is getting married, and your gift to your friend is to cooperate with her wedding plans. But all she wants you to do is be in her wedding and wear the dress match everybody else.
Read the first thing again, because to me,
I hear you.
Listen, I'll make it simple. If I have a friend that eats pork, that does not eat pork, I'm not going to have something out there for say, okay, I need you to do this. Or if I have a friend that doesn't drink or something like that, I'm going to understand that. So if she was fervent against this, like, I'm not doing this fast fashion, I'm not supporting this, I'm only buying through. If that's her, then when I was making the decision for bridesmaids and she says, I got to wear a thrifty dress, either I'm going to allow her to wear the thrifty dress and try to match it with everything else, or I'm just say, all right, but just come to my wedding and wear your thrifty.
Right, you're not going to uninvite her to the wedding.
That's tripping.
That's taking it too far, yeah.
Like, you don't want her to come to the wedding now?
But that's not the question. The question is the environmentalist tripping?
See, I don't think so. If that's you got
to feel that strongly about something.
You got to stick to your beliefs if that's what you feel strong. Like, I'm not.
You got to stand on business if that's how you feel. But here's my thing, though. See, this is the thing with people who have strong beliefs, and I'm with you. If I know my friend has a strong belief, I'm not going to try to go, make them do something that goes against their beliefs. But I think there's exceptions, because here's the thing.
I want to tell you to bless the food if you were atheist.
Right. But here's the thing though. People sometimes I think people go too far with their quote unquote strong beliefs sometimes, because here's the thing. If you that if you're that environmentally conscious, then why are you tripping about coming to a wedding, which in my opinion has a lot of environmental waste?
No, but
People spend so much money and waste so much
she
on weddings,
she can't.
but you want to come to the wedding.
Wait. No,
Do you see my point though?
no, I don't. Because she is saying like she doesn't want to do that. She knows there's environmental
But
waste.
Shantae, this is what I'm. Let me try to explain to you what.
To me, that's going too far. To me, what you just
What?
if I ain't coming to your wedding, if everybody ain't in no thrifty dress, and I'm like, yo, homegirl, everybody don't have your environmental beliefs.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the friend.
Why would she want to come to the wedding and you see nothing but environmental waste?
Right. So,
Right.
so where does it end? It's like, okay, you tripping off of a dress, but you want to come to a wedding that's plenty of waste, environmental waste at the wedding, but you gonna stop at just I can't wear a dress.
No, look,
That's hypocritical to me.
It's not. No, it's not. She's saying like, if you're saying this like, I'm a Christian, and I'm just trying to throw religious beliefs in there. I'm a Christian, right? And you telling somebody like, well, I'm not going to come to a Muslim wedding, right? That's your homegirl and your best friend. I'm not coming to a Muslim wedding because everybody there is Muslim and I'm Christian, right? But you know your girlfriend your whole life was a Muslim, and
Right.
you were friends with her. So what I'm saying is, to me individually, if she's saying I'm for the environment and this is why I'm wearing the thrifty dress and not wearing this waste material, that's fine for you. But for you to demand everybody else to do it, that's far reaching. And that's a life of loneliness to me. Because the majority of people in the world are wearing, like right now, I'm sure this is wasteful fashion, you know.
Can I just tell you, I have an example of this in my family. Rai, our daughter, she's a thrifter. And that is her rationale for it. She said it's a waste of money and it's not environmentally friendly to buy new clothes. It's she wants to be green and recycle clothes that have already been used, which makes no sense to me, but that's her rationale. It's the same, it's really the same thing as this.
So we get a lot of clothes are made out of cotton and other materials. I'm trying to figure out where cotton grows in the earth, is picked, right? Wool from sheep, but the wool hair on the sheep grows back, right?
Yeah, but see, it takes energy. It takes energy to make the clothes. Whether you have to, yeah.
But those companies employ thousands of people.
Right. But I guess people who have this mindset and people who are environmentally conscious like this, their argument is that why waste additional energy making more clothes when we already have clothes that we can just recycle and other people can use the clothes over and over instead of making new clothes. So her thing is she doesn't want to support the making of new clothes by going to buy new clothes. She wants to just wear.
So are we recycling bras and panties and boxer shorts?
No, but you're wasting less energy. You're wasting less energy.
I get what she's saying, but
and that's just it. That's like, just.
I'm about to clear out my closet and take it to the Goodwill, and I know my clothes in the Goodwill for a brother that size or a person that size. They're gonna take them shirts home and they're gonna have them a new wardrobe that's fresh to death. To me, I would say, that's recyclable.
Right.
That's how I would look at it. Now, if she said,
but see, she would say you should, when you drop the clothes off, pick up some more that are at the thrift store instead of going to the department store and buying new
But
clothes
if I
because
don't
you're
go to the
supporting.
department store, I eradicate all of those jobs.
Well, that's the way to look at it, but this is
I
just
look at it.
environmentally conscious people. That's how they think.
I'm not mad at, but I wouldn't be mad at your daughter, right?
Right.
But I guess I wouldn't be invited over her house for dinner because I'm coming in some fresh stuff.
My thing is, what I tell her is, why would you pay $10 for this used shirt when you can literally go and buy a new shirt for $10? That's how I look at it. But it's not about. See, I look at it from an economic perspective, but she's looking at it from an environmentally conscious
So
perspective.
she only goes to thrift stores.
That's what she likes to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I dated a girl. That's all she did, but not for those reasons, though. That's just her style of dress.
Yeah, like vintage clothing. They like
Like
old stuff.
clothing, but it wasn't. She wasn't on anything environmental. But hey, I just learned something new about your daughter. Good for her.
Mm-hmm. We're like, okay. We got one more.
Yeah, one more.
Okay, two friends in my friend circle talk about each other like a dog behind their backs. Something I said to friend A got back to friend B, and now friend B has cut me off. In retaliation, I spilled the tea to both of them on what the other had said, and now nobody is friends. Am I tripping? Yeah, you tripping. That's causing a whole bunch.
I don't know if that's even a thing to say somebody is tripping. I just say you stupid. That's just a stupid thing to do.
Same thing. To me, you tripping because you're a shit starter.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. You're tripping. I can't stand people who start.
Well, no, she wasn't. She wasn't the shit starter.
Why not?
Because she told something in confidence to friend A, and friend A told friend B. And she's saying, like, friend A talks about friend B, and friend B talks about friend A to me. So I'm telling you, friend A, something. I don't, when you tell me something about friend B, I don't go to friend B and tell her. I told you something about friend B. You went to friend B to tell her.
But she tripping.
You talk crap about friend B. So that's the chick that's tripping.
No, but you tripping because she retaliated and gossiped to both of them on and on what the other person said. So she's starting.
Okay, no, listen. Here's her justification. B, you talk a lot of crap about A, right? A, you talk a lot of crap about B. I'm C, right? I'm C. C tells A something about B. A runs her mouth to B. B cuts me off. You gonna cut me off after all the stuff you talk to about friend A, and you still deal with her, and now you gonna cut me off? You get what I'm saying?
I do. Something is going on with my battery.
Well, I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, I know. All this time, I thought my laptop was plugged up, but it wasn't. But now
you talking about your battery too? Okay,
I got it.
Yeah. So I'm to me, I just think it was. I think it was dumb of her to do the. I'm gonna dump the load on A and B. Now none of y'all friends. Y'all wasn't good friends in the beginning anyway. If y'all keep talking trash about each other, there ain't no friend group.
True.
That ain't no.
Okay, there we go. Now I'm cooking with grease. My laptop wasn't plugged up. Okay. So yeah, so that's it for Am I Tripping?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, okay.
And let us move on.
Oh, no.
Now I got to take a break. I'll be back. Sorry. Just
I can't
carry on. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
Go ahead. For those of folks who listen to us on a regular basis, we are looking for a social media person to help us out. It's a hard deal running a podcast. It's not tougher than what we thought it was going to be, but we're trying to go to the next level, and we're realizing that we have other things going on in our lives, like as our regular jobs and things of that nature. And so we are looking for a social media specialist. Yeah, it's for pay. You would have to email us at potliquorshow@gmail.com if you're very good with social media and you can help us out to get pot liquor out more. We have a lot of subscribers, but I think we average maybe 48 to like 70 listeners a week that listen to our shows when it's on, and we're just trying to build and grow. We enjoy doing the podcast for no money. Actually, money is coming out of our pockets, but we understand that. But we would like to grow it to get a big audience. So yeah, potliquorshow@gmail.com. Please email us, and we can set something up where we can talk to you about your social media skills. All right. I thank you for that. Let me see if I have one more announcement. Here is our Potliquor podcast.podbean.com is our web address. We're also trying to get our website up and put more things on it. It's a lot to manage a podcast. It really is. So yeah, again,
Yes, it is.
those who have can help us out with social media and those that can help us out with our website, once again, that's the email address right there for y'all. Hit us up and we will check in and respond. All right.
Let us move on.
Like this, like keep on. Never say die. Keep on. Like this, keep on. Never say die. Keep on.
Well, all right. So today we want to highlight as our little known Black history fact, Charlotta Bass. And this is in honor of Vice President Kamala Harris, who is now the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. Charlotta Amanda Spears Bass was born on February 14th, 1874 in Sumter, South Carolina. She was the first African American woman to own and operate a newspaper in the United States when she became the owner of the California Eagle after purchasing it at auction for $50. She was also the first African American woman nominated for vice president in 1952 as a candidate of the Progressive Party. I know a lot of people are suggesting that we need to have a third party in the United States, a party other than the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. We do have the Green Party, and I've heard the Libertarian Party, but Charlotta Bass was the first African American woman nominated for vice president in 1952 as a candidate of the Progressive Party. So Charlotta Bass died on April 12th, 1969 in Los Angeles, California. Charlotta Bass, our little known Black history fact.
Let us move on.
Get a refill? Can I get a refill? Can I get a refill? Get a refill?
Hey,
Can I get a refill? Can I get a
hey.
Okay, Presume Innocent is the show. We bring back Refill. We probably haven't done this in over 25 weeks. It's been a long time since we've done the Refill. Refill is when we look at a television show that the season is completed. Sometimes we do it an episode at a time, but sometimes we wait for the whole season to end and we fill you in on it. This is definitely a spoiler alert. To the people who probably already watched Presume Innocent, if you have Apple TV, I know that's an extra cost, but it's definitely worth the extra cost because the television show Presume Innocent was excellent. I will read a little bit about what it's about.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Okay. Attorney Rusty Savage, the city of Chicago's chief deputy prosecutor, who's played by Jay Gyllenhaal. It says, carries his body with athletic strength and dramatic precision, coiled like a python waiting to strike. When he learns his colleague, Carolyn Polimis, has been found dead, he is shaken. Reluctantly, he accepts an assignment by his boss, State's Attorney Raymond Horgan, to lead the investigation with the goal of quickly identifying the culprit in order to satisfy the electorate and perhaps ward off the challenge he faces in impending election, in which Horgan faces opposition from two of his prosecutors, Nicole Della Guardia and Tommy Malto. So what basically happened is his colleague was murdered. That is, Rusty's colleague was murdered. And he had an affair with her. Even though he's a married man with 2 children, he had an affair with her. He became obsessed with her. He loved her, and he admitted that to his wife. His children even knew about the situation. But when Polimis winds up dead, he starts to investigate, and then he finds out that the fingers are pointing back at him. So he has to go to his trial, go through a trial, so he won't be found guilty of the murder. And I think they do a great job of having the viewers switch their perspectives on who they think is responsible for the killing. Now, I'm going to tell you this. That really isn't spoiler alert. That is basically what the movie is. I'm not going to tell you how it ended up, but I would.
Okay. So let me be clear. Yeah. Are you saying we should not disclose during this conversation who done it? Basically,
no, we can disclose who done it, but at first I'm just trying to say set the premise.
Okay.
And I was going to say this happens like in the first episode. and there are 8 episodes. So
Yeah.
we're traveling through all of the rest of the 7 episodes, wondering who is the killer.
Yes.
And like I said, the creators and authors, the writers of the show did a good job pointing possibilities at least 5 or 6 different people.
Right. And you go through all of these possibilities during the course of the series.
And those 5 or 6 possibilities ain't even
close.
right.
Right. And this was the perfect series for me because this is my favorite genre of movie, TV, anything. I love a good thriller. And that's exactly what this was. So
You wouldn't call this a murder mystery?
same thing.
Okay.
Mystery thriller, same thing.
Okay.
But yeah, this is my kind. I love movies that start with, something I don't know, something dramatic, something as dramatic as murder.
Yeah.
Right. So here
a gruesome
murder. And that's the thing that I was going to add to your description of the plot here. One very important fact is that the victim, Carolyn Palimas, was found hogtied in a manner very similar to a victim in a previous case that she and the accused, Rusty Savage, worked on together. Right. So that was the key here. And it was a very important fact. So yeah, when you see this is a crazy question, but I was just wondering, like, when you look at someone who's been hogtied like that, my question was, how did they get to keep the head up like that? Because I didn't see where the head, how her head was up, her hands and her feet are tied, kind of like a chicken when you cook a chicken.
Yeah, but her head was tied to the feet, bended up, so it kept her head. She couldn't fall forward because she had the strength of her 2 legs holding her up. That's how it is.
But your neck is your head is still going to fall down from the weight of your head. So how does the head sit up like that?
They pulled it back and tightened the rope.
So the rope is around your head?
Yeah, around her neck.
And that's what keeps your head. Okay.
She had it right here. Yeah.
That is crazy. That is crazy. So
it definitely was good. So let me tell you what I was thinking. So Tommy Malta was the prosecutor in the case because the first guy lost the election. And I'll tell you their names again. Give me 1 second.
That was Rusty's best friend who lost the election.
So Nicole De Guardia is the one that was running against Raymond Horgan. Raymond Horgan at first was the
chief prosecutor.
Right? And then he lost the election. Nico De Guardia, who assigned Tommy Malta to head the case as the top, one of the top prosecutors in the office. Tommy Malta had a crush on Carolyn Palimas, but she rejected all of his advances. When he found out that she had an affair with Rusty, he seemed like they made him seem like he was visibly upset and jealous, and the animosity was making him like pointing the finger at him for the murder.
And you start thinking that maybe he did it, right?
Yeah. So they started making the thing because throughout the series, they kept going back to him and revealing more information about his connection and feelings for Carolyn and her objection to his advancements. So it made him suspicious.
Right.
You know, and then
Right.
the characters there.
Like she hurt his ego so bad.
Yeah.
Huh?
So it was other characters, like this, her son, Carolyn Plima's son, knew
Right.
that she was having an affair with Rusty. And he was going back.
And the son wasn't
huh?
Yeah, and it was a strange relationship because her son wasn't living with her. It was basically her estranged son because she had divorced his father. And so he was living with the father.
Right. And it's probably because of her job. Her job led her to leave the house at all times. So she probably didn't have the best job to help raise the son.
Well, that was the other issue that I found interesting, like just the relationships in the movie, like the marriage between Rusty and Barbara, his wife, and then the relationship.
Let's bring race into it. Barbara was an African-American woman.
And she looked like she could have been mixed with something too.
Yeah, and the kids both look biracial.
Yeah, she looked biracial too to me, but yeah. She could have passed, to me, she could have passed for like an Italian woman.
Italian and black. She had that, whatever it was, she was mixed with black because she had too much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I think that was important. And then, you know what I was thinking about? There were 5 or 4 black women in this series that played.
And one was the judge.
5. It was 5. Now, listen to here. Whoever wrote this, the judge, like Kim said, was African American.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty's partner, the sister, who was
she an investor? Oh no, she was the other of a prosecutor.
Prosecutor was black.
Then there was an investigator
was black.
Mm-hmm.
The wife was black, and the daughter was black.
Yeah.
And all of them played critical roles in this
series.
Mm-hmm. And I found like all right, that's encouraging, that's engaging, that.
Well, honestly, to me, it's interesting that you said let's bring race into it, because I thought race wasn't even an issue in any of this, to me personally. Like, and that was the beauty of it to me, because it's going towards
well, that's what I mean. I'm just saying it wasn't
it wasn't relevant.
The plot wasn't based on
the race,
but it was still interesting that he was married to a black woman and cheating on his black woman with a white woman, saying he was greatly in love. He didn't convince me as fatherly to the black kids. He didn't do that for me. That was interesting. It's like he seemed out of place in the role as dad to 2 African-American kids.
That's interesting. And I still don't really quite, I hear you, but what happened to make you feel like he wasn't, I don't even know what the word is.
He didn't trust his wife. He didn't trust the investigator that told him not to do X, Y, and Z. He didn't trust his prosecutor. And he wasn't fond of the judge.
So do you think that raises the issue of whether or not he had respect for black women?
I don't know if it raised the issue if he had respect for black women. But it raises the issue why he fell in love with that white woman, to me.
Okay. Well, back to the role of him being a father to 2 black children.
Yeah. He did everything else well, except that. But I would say he probably did that well because he was not attached to them like that. I didn't see the
okay. That's what I wanted to explore more with you from your perspective. What clued you in on that? Like, what are some of the things that you saw him do with regard to his children that made you think that he didn't have a connection with them?
He wasn't loving to them like that.
I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you the moments where I felt like he had a connection with his children. First, let me tell you what I saw.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first thing I noticed was that he spent time with his son, helping him practice his pitching.
Right.
They spent time together doing that. They had dinners together where they would talk. His daughter felt comfortable enough to come into the room where he was working out to tell him about what she was learning in school and to hug him. And they also both seemed emotionally attached to them when they were concerned about him having this affair. His son, to the point where his son was basically stalking Carolyn, trying to figure out, why is my father so attracted to this woman and why is he threatening our happy family? He went as far as going to spy on them to try to see what was so good about this Carolyn that it was taking the attention of his father away from his mother. That's a connection. If you didn't care, you just don't care. Bye.
Father's treatment, I thought the baseball issue, the father's treatment for the son was harsh. And I thought the daughter made more initiative to come.
How was it harsh?
The way he was talking to him.
He was coaching him.
Yeah.
But he didn't say N-word, throw the ball harder. N-word.
Like that.
I'm just saying he wasn't yelling at him or anything.
He wasn't racist against his kids.
Okay, forget that. Okay, that was too far. But I'm just saying he wasn't like combative or like yelling at him or anything. So
yeah, when he found out that old boy rode over with the bike, he got belligerent.
Yeah, he did. But
you getting belligerent and you the one over there smoking the girl. You know, one over there sexing her, and that's your son. He trying to figure out what is going on. Right. Why are you doing this to mommy? And you got upset and angry at this kid. That's when I said, like, that divide even went further because he wasn't the calmest person when he was coaching his son.
Okay. I guess I can see what you're saying, but I don't know if that was because the kids were black. That could just be because he just was a cold MFer.
Well, yeah, it could be.
And he was just volatile. He was like that with everybody. He beat the man. He was violent. He beat people up. He threatened people. He yoked the daggone medical examiner up. I mean,
he didn't listen to his partner. He didn't listen to his investigator. He didn't care for the judge as much. You know, there was a lot to sound like. It was interesting why the writers put him in a family with the black. Where was the love for his wife? How did that dissipate? Now people say that's why I would never marry a cop, you know, unless she had a female partner, because there's the bond between cops that are partners is going to be way stronger than the bond between a wife and a husband. You know why? When you going out as a cop every day, and I know he wasn't a cop, he was an investigator, but when you go out as a cop every day and you could be in harm's way and you can come close to losing your life a couple of times, and your partner saves you and you save your partner, that bond right there is going to usurp. It could usurp your marriage bond.
And you spend a lot of time at work. That's true. I mean, but you hear a lot of people talking about, even just not just police officers, but you hear people talking about their work wife or their work husband a lot, like somebody that they work closely with at work. So you hear about that a lot. I don't know though, because remember they said, I think towards the end, Rusty said to Barbara, like, you can't put this all on me. Like, you had a part in it as well.
He didn't say that in the end. He said that in the middle too. He said,
although I think that's a cop out. I think that's a cop out because my thing is, and I'm speaking from experience because I've been married for 25 years, and I don't think it's fair to blame your spouse because you stepped out and did wrong. My thing is if you're gonna step out, own it with your full chest. Don't try to blame it on somebody else.
Wait. He did own it. But then
why would he say
hold on. At the time, I agreed with you until the end. Episode 8.
Okay.
He says, I put a tracker on your car.
Okay.
So all the while during that whole series, he was saying, you are the killer. And you could have set me up. You get what I'm saying? Think about
it. But I thought you were talking about he was trying to partially blame his wife for why he stepped out on her and had this affair with Carolyn Polimas.
No, he didn't say he
remember? Because remember he said remember at the end when he said, you're not gonna put this all on me. Like it's not just my fault that I was in love with this woman, this other woman. Remember that?
I do remember it, but I'm trying to think if he said it in that sense. Because when it came to the end, I said, because the whole time I'm thinking like you, like, how you gonna put it on her? You the one who doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
If he was talking about the relationship, I agree with you.
Yeah.
If he was talking about the murder, we couldn't see it at the time.
You talking about the viewer?
Yeah, because she was caught up in this whole entanglement. Like in the public, like your husband's on trial for killing this person. And he was like, that ain't my fault because I ain't killed this person. I made up to her, but this whole entanglement and this spectacle is coming down because you killed her. But he ain't let us know that. We didn't know.
Okay.
Let me say this.
That's
how I perceived it at the end. That's why I thought it was dynamic. Because I was like, oh no, ain't no way in the world she didn't kill. I didn't think any of his family members killed. I was like, nah, because of the hard time.
Right.
So dope.
I said that was slick though. That was slick how they put that together.
Yeah.
But it was based on a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scott Turow.
Books you can get this scripted in.
Yeah. I think that was slick the way they set that up. That was good.
Wait, Scott Turow wrote that?
Yeah. It's based on a novel by Scott Turow. That's what it said in the credits.
He wrote a lot of criminal mysteries. But it was good. So
it was good. Y'all gotta check it out. It was good. Good.
Yeah.
They'll keep you guessing all the way to the end, and you ain't gonna get it right.
Yeah, because
you ain't gonna get it right.
We telling you it's surprising. So everybody you look at, you're gonna be like, well, I know that is him because
and I like how we haven't disclosed who it is, and we shouldn't. Because I think we went right to the edge before telling who did it.
And they don't have a clue who did it though.
They're not gonna know.
But check it out. Presume innocent. Very, very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
Let us move on.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
All right, so I have some. This is with Donald Trump speaking at the NABJ. That's the National Association of Black Journalists. They interviewed him, and he tried to question Kamala's.
Mm-hmm.
I call her Kamala.
Because you want to blacken it up. That's how we do. That's how Black people pronounce it. But the correct pronunciation is Kamala, like the punctuation, a comma and la, Kamala.
Here we go.
I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage. And she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always
But you know
identified
what?
as a black
I
woman. She went to a
respect
historically
either
black
one.
college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think
that she is a
somebody should look into that too when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I really
Republicans have
don't
said?
know. I mean, I really don't know. Could be.
Okay, so what is your thoughts?
Oh God. My thoughts are, number one, why? That's my first thought, is why? Why would you invite this man into your space? And it's a black space.
To be fair, they invited him several years. This wasn't the first time they invited him. He rejected them all the other times.
Right. And I would say, and every time I would say, why? Like, why would you give space? Why would you give place to the devil? That's how I look at it.
Show his ignorance.
And so to show his ignorance, like, we haven't seen enough of his ignorance. Like, we need to see more ignorance.
You might have seen, first of all, you at a National Association of Black Journalists. That means there's media across the country that's there. These are media outlets, so they can publicize his ignorance.
Okay, but this is my thing, Shantae. This is part of the problem that we had the first time that Donald Trump was elected. It's because the media gave him all of this free publicity, and they were concerned about ratings more so than having the best interest of this country at heart. Nobody wanted him for president in the beginning, but they knew that he was good for ratings. So they gave him a place on their platform for ratings, and that ended up backfiring and helped him to be elected. So then, knowing how harmful Donald Trump is, especially in my opinion, to the Black community, why would a Black organization give him another platform? For what? You know, he's going to obfuscate. He's not going to answer any questions. We're not going to learn anything new about Donald Trump. He's not going to answer your questions. He's going to be disrespectful.
That's right.
Way he's
show that.
Why?
Show that. And you show that.
Hey, we know this already because we've seen it.
You can't think for everybody else. You know it. You're a 50-plus-year-old something. That 18, 19-year-old.
I'm 57.
What I'm saying is you plus 50. You can't put your mind in the brain set of somebody 19 years old, right? Or somebody 21 years old that's going to the booth, or somebody 26 or 28 years old. But
Shantae, you know how much Donald Trump has been televised. So you're telling me that people haven't seen him?
Ignorance all over again. They're not giving him a larger platform than he already has. It was a private thing that those little things got.
Oh, you think that was a good idea?
Yeah, I don't have no problem with that, and it shows that, you know, Black folks is not just making like, oh, we don't like you because you white. No, it's because of what you say and how you talk and how you act. And you saw I agree. I thought the Black lady, when she started off, she was a little hostile. I thought
Rachel Scott.
Yeah, they should have had somebody that could deal with his situation. Like, you can come off and just try to deal with it without trying to play gotcha, right? To me,
I think her question was not a gotcha question. It was a fair question.
I mean, the first question you come up, you asked Trump was about what he said.
All of the insults that he has made against Black people, all of the negative things that he said about Black women. Why are you now asking for Black people to vote for you?
Well, he said, even in 16, he said this. When he was running, he says he's the best president for Black people. I was the best president for Black people since Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. That's what he says. right.
And her retort, which he didn't address, was even
Lyndon B.
uh,
Johnson,
even Lyndon B. Johnson, who passed the Civil
Civil Rights.
Rights Act of 1964,
I don't.
and he didn't address that.
Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't great for African Americans either. But that's another time.
We got the Civil Rights Act out of that.
Yeah.
He's racist, but we don't care. Listen, if you're gonna pass policy to help black people, you can call me whatever you want to call me.
Yeah,
Just
but
pass that law.
that was black folks that did that.
Right. But the point is that you have to have somebody who's willing to do that. Donald Trump ain't gonna sign no legislation that's gonna help no black people. In fact, he's gonna try to get black people killed when they have been exonerated. And still not going to apologize when they've been exonerated.
Some black people like Donald Trump because he does free a lot of African Americans that are in prison. Like when it's time to pardon, he pardons a lot
of African Americans.
Pardons African Americans that were in prison. So some people like that about him.
Right. Those are the same people that like the STEMI check.
Some people like the stimulation check about Donald Trump. He purports to, he claims that, he gives all his money to HBCUs when they're required to give money to HBCUs, and HBCUs have not gotten their share. Now, if Donald Trump opens up and say, well, here go the billions of dollars we owe to HBCUs, that'll turn a lot of black folks around if he did that, but he hasn't done that. I'm just saying, like, I don't agree with Donald Trump, period, but I'm just telling you arguments. Like you said, the STEMI check, like he gave us money. I'm like, what money did he give us? It's tax. Well, so Wayne, Wayne on
he's ignorant.
Yeah, he sounds it. To me, I would ask Wayne, are you for the individual or are you from the community? Because, brother, you made it to a level where you assess over a certain amount of money. So are you only vote in your interest in your money? Because I tell you, and I would tell Naeem and Spank and every one of them, like, that tax break might be helping you, but it's not helping the people that come to your show and pay to see you. It's not helping the majority of them. So you getting paid, and you might be like, well, I don't get paid by them. I get paid by the promoter. Yeah, but the promoter gets paid by them. And for the promoter to pay you and keep having shows, he has to make money at the door, at the ticket.
But here's what I'm disappointed in with regard to what Wayne said. I can even understand if a black person is pro-Trump because for economic reasons, and they feel like they make a certain amount of money and they it can enjoy the tax breaks. Like I can understand that, but for you, this is what I was talking about in the beginning about questioning Vice President Kamala Harris's credentials and her qualifications. How dare he say she has yet to appear presidential to me? Like, are you serious? Like, to me, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, if you want to support Trump, support Trump. I'm not mad because, like I say, everybody got one vote, and okay, so you one ignorant Negro that wants to vote for Trump, fine, because you got one vote, thank God. But don't sit up here and act like you don't want to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris because you're questioning her credentials and questioning whether she appears presidential to you. So are you saying that Donald Trump appears presidential?
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
Get the F out of here.
I don't care. Like, to me, a lot of them, like even Naeem, who, and I like the show. But if I would talk behind the scene, I would tell Naeem, like, brother, you make a lot of mistakes, and your assertions is like you good with it. Like he just said something on that same show. Oh, what was it? And he had to admit that he was wrong.
About her locking up black men or something. That's what usually
it didn't have anything to do with Kamala. But it was, and I'm saying sometimes some listeners call Naeem to the carpet. To me, when they call you to the carpet and they check you, then you go into your comedic stance and be like, fuck y'all. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You can't stand righteous. And then somebody comes against you and straightens you out and gives you facts because you strong and wrong. And then you try to diss them to play it down. Nah, accept it. My bad. This is what happened. Because he makes a lot of assertions that are untrue. And he stands on it like it's solid. And I'm sitting up here saying, nah, that's not the case. When Wayne said that about, and I just listened to it again today.
Mm-hmm.
She don't seem presidential. I gotta hear some more speeches because she don't appear presidential to me. And that phony laugh and shit. Like I'm like,
That's got to be about the dumbest ass.
answer. Like I'm saying, like, who cares if you care about her laugh, right? But you think this idiot, and y'all even just made fun of him because he black. But they, like I said, sometimes when niggas get
Yeah, a certain amount of money.
they individualism, like
Yeah.
Charles Barkley and his dumb ass will say it. And I'll say to you, just because you amass millions, Negro, where you come from, a lot of people haven't amassed millions. And dude, part of you making it to the NBA is your DNA, right? So what I'm saying is just like that guy that's not 6'4" or 6'5" and weigh 250 and have the ability to play basketball, and he working and he own a house, he ain't making millions of dollars. But you voting for your individual interest, and then the black community suffers, and you don't care about that anymore.
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly with what you just said. And the thing about it is, these are the Negroes that's going to be all right either way.
Yeah.
If Trump is reelected, you're going to be all right because you got millions of dollars. But think about the other people. Think about what's
2025. The health care, they trying to get rid of Medicaid, they trying to get rid of, they trying to give cops blanket immunity. That ain't gonna serve you well.
Exactly. So that's what I'm thinking. They cannot be a one issue voter, especially when it comes to your bottom line. Yeah. Don't let just your bottom line of your economic situation be your only one issue that you're voting on. Please think about the greater good. Think about the rest of us. Think about what's best for this country, because we could be in a position where there's no more democracy. Because did you see the video going around about Donald Trump asking his Christian supporters, please just come out and vote, and you won't have to vote anymore after this?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So this is not a joke. Y'all, people think this is a joke. This man is not leaving
Congress, though. That has to be passed through Congress. That ain't being passed.
Shante, it doesn't matter what the law is. Donald Trump is going to do what he wants to do, and that's the thing. That's what I'm convinced.
He can't change. He can try to.
Donald Trump is going to do what he wants to do, and then let people be on the defense and legally challenge him. But he gonna already do what he want to do. It's the same thing with everything that he's done so far. It has been against the law, but he did it anyway, and now it's going to have to play out in court.
That's individual stuff that he did, and it is against the law, and it has been played out. But I'm just talking about to make a rule where democracy is gone. That ain't happening.
The law says that Congress has to certify the votes of the people, the delegates, or he stopped it. Despite the law, that was the law, but he interrupted that process. And you would have said, well, he can't do that because the law is that they have. Well, he did it.
He did what?
Remember, they were trying to count the votes during the January 6th, the insurrection. They were trying to count the votes, and he stopped that whole process by inciting the protest, the insurrectionists to go to the Capitol and stop that process.
And they went and recounted the votes, and they said, "No,
you're missing the point of what I'm saying." He
point. I know what you're trying to
right. So the law is that they are supposed to be able to count the votes uninterrupted, but they were interrupted. That's illegal, but he did it anyway.
That's because of the insurrection.
Somebody, please, baby Jesus, help me. That's all I can say.
Stop doing that.
It's the but I get frustrated because I feel like you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I am listening, and I'm gonna tell you, it disturbs me when you say I'm not listening to you because you're implying that I'm not understanding what you're saying.
No, but everything I say, it's like you try to justify him. You defending him.
We have the same opinion, Kim. That's why the show works. We don't have the same opinion all the time. I don't vote blanketly. Like I said, to me, I don't believe in the hype. That's me because of my background.
What I'm trying to tell you, Shantae, is that Donald Trump has demonstrated to us time after time that the law is irrelevant to him. You're going to sit up here and say, well, he can't do that because legally this is what has to happen. Yeah, that's true. But so what? He's going to break the law and then you just won't have to prosecute him.
I don't think he's going to get elected. So that's
well, from your mouth to God's ears.
Because
in Jesus' name we pray.
I just don't think so. Like I said,
I hope you're right.
Yeah,
and then I hope that she beats him by a landslide, and then I hope he goes away and crawls back under the rock from which he came.
He's never going to crawl back under a rock. He's a narcissist. He was known before he ran for president.
I mean,
and
I just wish that he could be silent.
He was well liked by a lot of Democrats because he used to be a Democrat.
Right, but he got a taste of
power. Based on the guy that was running. It's better to be infamous than not famous at all. And he went that way. But anyway.
Yeah.
I don't care about this guy. All right.
Let us move on.
You say I don't care about this guy.
All right. Simone Biles wins gold in the gymnastics all-around event. I think this is the third time she done it. So, again, she is from Spring, Texas, where I currently reside.
She is officially the GOAT, and I love her. Do you see her diamond-encrusted GOAT pendant?
Oh, I just noticed that.
Yeah, she was showing it on TV. She was showing it.
Oh, wow. I would never. That says a lot about her because I would never do that.
It's a flex. It's a flex.
It is definitely a flex. I'm happy for her.
Me too. She's the most decorated gymnast of all time.
Yeah.
So she's
in the United States. No, not all time. In the United States, there's somebody in China has more medals than she does. But yeah, we're giving it up to Simone Biles.
Let us move on.
Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. I'd have been lied on, backstabbed in the street. Fake love, maybe fake love. You can take it back, I don't need it, yeah. But somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. Somebody pray for me. I'd have been lied on, backstabbed in the street. Fake love, maybe hate love. You can take it back, I don't need it.
All right, so prayers goes out to the family of Sheila Jackson Lee, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee from Houston, Texas. She passed away not too long ago while we were in our absences. So she did a lot for the African-American community, period, but in Houston especially. So we want to give our condolences to the family. Any words that you have?
I will just say that she was a beautiful woman who exemplified the highest character. And she was a public servant, an honorable public servant. And she represents a life well lived.
Well said. Well said. Well said. So, as we wrap up, we will start off with our words of wisdom from Mary McLeod Bethune. Without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. What's going on was Biden stepping down as for not running for re-election of President Trump's shooting of President Trump being shot, I should say, Kamala Harris for president, and the Olympic Games. The talk of the town was Sonya Massey, the shooting, which was horrible. Played our beautiful game in my tripping little known Black History fact with Charlotta Bass. We brought back Refill. We haven't did that in a while, and that was Presumed Innocence. All hell no went to Trump's speech at the NABJ. Some remarks he made about Kamala Harris's ethnicity.
Kamala.
We gave it up to Simone Biles for the all-around gold medal. And prayers went up for Sheila Jackson Lee. So, as always,
thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us. And as always, in parting, we wish you love, peace, and knowledge to feed your soul.
Knowledge to feed your soul. See y'all next week.
Bye.